Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here this weekend on our first Cabral HouseCall, episode 2017. If you'd like to read along with the questions, please do feel free to do so at stephencabral.com/2017. That is where all the questions will be today. We will definitely make it through 6 of our community's questions. And those questions are coming in beginning on, let's see, it looks like 6/21. So June 21st. And today, this podcast is being published on August 14th. So again, about 7 weeks or so behind. Not too bad. We get a lot of questions coming in every single weekend. Remember, no need to post your question a second time. It just takes a little bit of time to get that question answered live on the show. What I do want to say is that every single day, ask that question if you'd like at cabralsupportgroup.com. That's our free Facebook group. Over 12,000 people from all around the world. No advertising, no marketing brought those people in, just good people looking to change their lives, better themselves, cheer others on, and get the support they need. So check it out. All right, let's get into our questions. First question today, for those of you new to the show, all we do on these weekend shows is we answer your questions. So literally all questions that have come in at stephencabral.com/askcabral, and always answered in the order they come in. We answer them all literally. It just takes a little bit of time getting there. And they're on all things wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging. Obviously happy to help in any way that I can. First question today is from Michael. Michael says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Do you recommend any lab test or supplement protocol for someone dealing with post-COVID syndrome? I have mold, candida, and H. pylori as well." Well, if you know you already have those, then you probably don't need to do the gut-based testing as much, and you'll probably want to run the minerals and metals test and the stress hormone, mood, and metabolism. Those would be the two that I would definitely run. And then I've got lots of protocols for you, and maybe it came out after you asked, but I'm going to find it for you right now. So all we need to do is go to stephencabral.com/podcast. So let's do that. stephencabral.com/podcasts. And we are going to scroll through the little graphics at the top, and there's one for viruses. Let's see, latest virus updates. I haven't done one in a while because honestly, you can't really say too much anymore or you get banned. But I'm going to find you the one that you want, which is the post-COVID. All right, let's see. Full virus protocols, 1810. That's a big one that you want to check out. Let's see. COVID, loss of taste, abnormality, 1873. Virus and long-term illness workout program, 1903. Where is this podcast? Let's find it for you. And how to deal with post-viral inflammatory issues. There it is. I knew we'd find it. Episode 1776. So, my friends, I want you to head on over to stephencabral.com/topic/virus-updates, or just for this one podcast, head on over to stephencabral.com/1776, and you'll find your information right there. And for the labs that I spoke about, you'll find those over at equi.life, equi.life/labs. All right, Thomas is up next. "Hey, Dr. Cabral, I've been taking your CBD oil for about 4 years now, mostly every morning. Yours when available. I've noticed all the beneficial effects early on. Now I don't notice a difference when I forget to take it, meaning I stay calm and balanced in a parasympathetic state. Is there a point at which one can reduce dosage during non-stressful times? Or is this one of those supplements that has long-term effects and should be taken every day? Thank you. You are the GOAT." Appreciate that. Thank you. Thomas, you know what? So I first started using CBD oil back in the day, 2016, 2017 range, before its heyday that it's having now. And I took it for 6 months. I noticed the same thing you did. So basically what I thought at first is that I would take a dose and I would really feel it. I'm like, whoa, like this hit pretty quick with the oils I'm talking about within 20 minutes. And then after not too long, maybe like 3-4 weeks, I'm like, oh, taking the same amount and I don't really feel a difference. But the reason was like I was already more calm. And so, yeah, I didn't feel as much of a difference because those CB1, CB2 receptor sites are most likely already saturated, which is great. So it's an interesting question you bring up. Like, how often do you need CBD then? Do you need it every day? Are you taking it every day for other reasons, such as pain or balancing healthy levels of inflammation, healthy levels of anxiety, etc. And, that's really for an individual basis, but maybe you now only need to take it when you are stressed, or maybe you only need to take it every other day. So it's interesting. So I don't take it every day anymore. Some people do, but again, I don't have anything wrong that I'm trying to fix, but I do take CBD oil at least twice a week. I really love it. I really enjoy it. I do a big podcast day on Wednesdays. So that night I'll come home and I might do some CBD oil just because I don't drink alcohol really, except for maybe once a week at most, maybe, but sometimes not. And so I use CBD oil sometimes instead, and it just gives me a nice extra dose of relaxation. And then I'll do it on Friday night or Saturday during the day, like in the afternoon, I'll use it and just really, really relaxed. I love it. You can find our brand at equilibriumcbd.com. And you can find all of the organic certifications there, the no pesticide spray, the full spectrum that you want to be looking for. They're really fantastic products. Remember, I formulate for me, meaning like I want the best, and I hope other people, want that as well. And so that's why I do it. So that's we're not allowed to put it on equi.life. It's over at equilibriumcbd.com. Okay, maybe that'll change in the future. We could put it on there, but we can't right now. Danika's up next. Hey, Dr. Brawl, I'm wondering what your advice is for Vata Kapha dosha. I myself am about 2/3 Vata, a third Kapha. I find a lot of advice to be contradictory between these two. Often, if you just went smack dab in between the two, it would look like advice for Pitta, which I have almost none of. I understand that you treat the imbalance, which from dosha, the symptom is arising, but I mean more for general daily advice such as food, exercise, sleep, etc. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a great question, really great question, because that's more of my body type. I've got my entire mindset is Pitta because, I'm a little wild like that. But, my body can swing between the two. So what you do is you work on whatever's most dominant, because Ayurvedic medicine and TCM and everything is about balance. So, and by the way, it's not there. There would never be in the middle would be Pitta. Pitta is inflammatory. If you look at Kapha, what is it? It's wetness, it's dampness, it's mucus production, it's stagnation, right? What's Vata? Movement, light, air. What are the similarities? Well, they're both dry. There's no doubt about that. So there's that, and they can both be cold. So what you're looking for both is all right, well, how can you help both of these? Ginger tea, that's a great one to balance both of those. Not good for Pitta, but good for Vata and Kapha. So ginger tea could be a great one. And then again, well, what do? Starchy carbohydrates are great for Vatas, and more leafy ones better for Kapha. Well, what are you suffering from right now? Is it more the springtime, let's say, and Vata is a little bit more dominant? Okay, then let's work on that. You're dealing with sleep-based issues? Okay, maybe we need a little bit more carbs. Are we dealing with some weight issues? Okay, then we want to do more of a Kapha pacifying diet, right? More of a Vata, more of a Kapha diet, which is more, or I should say less starchy vegetables and more green vegetables and lower glycemic ones. So all you're trying to do is balance whatever you're dealing with, and that keeps you, and then you realize what works for you. And so that becomes your routine, and it actually may change seasonally. So for me, seasonally, I have to deal with more Vata in the winter, Vata Kapha in the winter, so I get more of the dry skin, and I get more of the mucus-based production. So I balance both of those, and you can do that, again, with something like ginger tea or sinus support's a great one. Hist Pro I use, so those are all great. All right, hopefully that was helpful. I'm happy to answer more specifics as well based on a symptom. Tracy's up next. Hi, Dr. Brawl. Have you heard of a product called ASEA? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. All right, I have heard of ASEA. I don't use it personally. ASEA is basically, I'm going to talk about one of their products. It's a water-based product, and it's based on Redox. I studied Redox really in depth. It's never talked about in natural health because it's, I don't know. I think people's eyes would gloss over. They're like, this is really boring, but it's actually not. So redox is basically reduction oxidation. And think of it more like free radical damage. So when you don't have enough electrons, you're going to have more free radicals. So that means there's more inflammation and damage within the cells of the body. And if you add in more electrons, then you have less free radical damage and potentially less cellular aging and potentially less inflammation. So this is really interesting because I used to do a lot of biochem in my office, and I had redox potential, and I was able to measure that based on urine urine, saliva samples, etc. I don't do that anymore. There's just not enough hours in the day. You're talking about a 2-hour consultation for an individual, and it could change based on the day. And so there's all sorts of stuff that you have to watch for there. Do I use ASEA water? No. Do I know that it works? No, I haven't even seen any lab tests showing that it does work for redox potential, but it very well could. So I'm not saying that it doesn't, without a doubt. What do I use instead? Antioxidants, right? So I'm using things like vitamin C on a daily basis. I'm using quercetin on a daily basis, stinging nettles. I'm eating fruits and vegetables, my 7 to 9 servings a day that all have powerful antioxidants and redox potential as well. So hopefully that's helpful. All right, Laura's up next. Hi, Dr. Brawl. I've seen a question in the support group on Facebook about crystal deodorants where only one ingredient is ammonium alum. Is that a safe ingredient or should we stay away from it? Thanks so much and have a great day. All right, yeah, this is a great question. Happy to answer it, and I didn't even know there was this debate going on inside of the Facebook group, which is cabralsupportgroup.com. It's great to have the debates. There's no doubt about it. But ammonium alum is another name for basically aluminum. And I think it's ammonium aluminum sulfate is typically what it is. So let's get into this a bit because there are natural deodorants with ammonium alum and there's natural deodorants with potassium alum. But the question is this different form of aluminum non-absorbable to the body? And that I don't have the answer for. So if someone could look that up and put that in the group, that would be great. Of course, I can look it up, but I never prepare for any of these questions, so I haven't done that research. So when you look at aluminum, it would be safe if it stayed on the skin like it was a non-nanoparticle. Let me give you a good example. So zinc oxide would be fairly toxic if it was consumed in the body. But zinc oxide as a sunscreen that's non-nanoparticle is not toxic because it's not absorbed by the body. So basically what it does is it blocks the sun from damaging the skin. Now with aluminum, the goal is to ideally keep the aluminum on the outside so that doesn't allow then the sweat glands to sweat as much. So you have to look at it. Well, it's an antiperspirant. You want the body to sweat. You want it to get out these chemicals. What if it just doesn't come out your armpits and you sweat in other areas? Is that okay? Maybe. So I think what we're looking at here is really, does the aluminum become absorbed or not? And are you okay with blocking your sweat ducts under your armpits? That's really kind of the question. So for every regular, everyday use, I'm not using aluminum. If you were going somewhere and you didn't want to sweat a lot, well, that might be one of those times every couple of weeks that you use more of a product like this. So that's kind of the happy medium that I think most people could do and be healthier overall while not making great compromises in terms of sweating. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful. Let's see. Molly's up next. Hi, I was wondering if Highball Energy 0-calorie seltzers and or regular seltzer waters break a fast. Thanks. I've really enjoyed your podcast so far. I started listening last week. Molly, thanks for joining us. Well, if you just started joining last week, you've got about 1,900 episodes behind you. So we welcome you, or 2,000 episodes. We appreciate you. And I hope that you enjoy listening to the show. So I have a whole podcast for you, Molly. And since you're a new listener, what I want you to do is go to stephencabral.com/podcasts and use the search box to just type in like what breaks a fast, any keyword you want, and you'll find a podcast on it probably. This is 6 years of podcasts. But the truth is you can always write in and you can always ask inside the Facebook group, which is cabralsupportgroup.com. But I have an answer for you. So the first one is this. Go to episode 1965. That debuted on 6/23, the exact day you wrote in this question, which means you just missed it by a couple hours, but that's okay. So go to episode 1965. What food and drinks break a fast? All right. So that's going to tell you exactly your answer. But in terms of the Highball Energy contains caffeine. And so for many people, it's going to spike blood sugar even without calories. So what that means is that your adrenals produce stress hormones because your brain told them to. Then The liver puts sugar into your bloodstream without you even eating it, which then raises blood sugar, which then technically breaks your fast, even though it was 0 calories. So that the human body is very, very interesting. I have a whole webinar on this. I don't even know if I can remember the URL anymore, but I think it's stephencabral.com/BRMI. Let's check that out. Let's see if that's actually the case. stephencabral.com/BRMI. And I did this for the Bioregulatory Medicine Institute, where I am a advisor on their board. There it is. Okay. Cortisol, high blood sugar, inflammation, and weight gain. So there you go. Check that out as well. So you've got a bunch to check out. Regular seltzer water, I don't have one with me today, but sometimes I'll drink San Pellegrino, or I will drink the Gerolsteiner, or I will drink Mountain Valley, and all of those will not break a fast. Those are just mineral water, natural mineral water with carbonation, okay? I think that was our questions. Michael, Thomas, Danica, Tracy, Laura, Molly, and just like that, today's Cabral House Call is over, but we will be back tomorrow answering 6 more of our community's questions. Take care, everyone. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll talk with you tomorrow.